All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Space Brothers, episode 37. So we're getting Muta this episode, right? And not just waiting by the phone,
right?
Like a nervous wreck.
Right. We got Kenji. We had Serika.
Yeah, we need Muta next.
We need Muta, right?
But I mean,
no. Suddenly it's Nita now.
Yeah, they're gonna be like Nita. They're gonna do this whole thing, and then it's gonna be like, you didn't make it. But we're gonna dedicate a whole episode to it.
I mean, because the thing is that if it is Muta, we don't really have too much more backstory that, like...
Yeah, we've gotten the backstory.
This whole show has been the backstory.
Man, can you imagine if they start the episode and it's like, all right, he's waiting. Then it rings, and it's like, okay, and right when you think they're going to go into the backstory, they're just like, all right, yeah, you made it.
Or cool. Yeah, it's like, Muta, did you get the call yet? And it's like, Mom, please, like, I told you not to call me at this point. Okay. But all right, yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, now we just go visit Hibito now.
Cool.
Oh, our little hopping rabbit boy.
Yeah.
Ouch. I just biffed my nose. Meanwhile, on Earth.
この2、3日、プチ幸運が異常に続いていた。
Okay.
引き出しの奥から商品券が
Let's go!
Cool.
1,000 yen.
合計額が777円になったり、しかも小銭がピッ。
What?
Damn!
柱が必要以上に立ったり。
Multiple!
逆に怖い。
Okay.
逆に不吉。
Wait!
That's awesome. Hopefully you're not using it all up.
運に頼るしかないってのに。限られている運はどんどん減って、多分もうすっからかんに近い。
Hey, that's what's happening with you, Muta.
Yeah.
に不運も起こらぬまま合格発表の朝を迎えてしまった。
We're going back in time to before he sat down to wait.
That's the opening? God damn it, Cheryl.
Bruh!
God damn it.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Horoscopes, no.
The echo.
Yeah.
You can now purchase that for $29.99.
The leading supermarket in Japan had a surplus of pink bicycles.
Yep.
We gotta sell them. So go.
Yo.
Yeah.
全部一人で電話する気か。
Nah, I knew you'd want to do this one.
Yep.
あなたは合格ですとか言いたいよ。じゃあ半分分けてやろう。
Half?
だし、不合格を伝える辛さも味わって。
They're not telling us who.
And I've already told 2 people that they passed, so there's going to be a lot of failures.
こういうのは空の下で伝えたい。
I like it.
Cool.
だからいらないってば。ケーキ買う金くらいあるよ。わざわざ作らなくていいし、送らなくていいから。切るよ。
Alright, this guy's being told that he didn't make it.
結果が分かったらすぐまた連絡するって。じゃあ。
And he's clearly very accomplished and all that.
ったく、どこまで過保護なんだよ。
That bottle's either going to be celebration,
Yep.
or...
I respect the decision.
Yeah.
Don't drink any of it yet.
Gonna hear the news sober. And then either way, that bottle's gonna keep you company.
Yep. Oh. The way my heart would just erupt out of my chest.
He picks it up. We're calling you about a special offer. God damn it.
The amount of, like, restraint I would, like, muscle down and put it onto the receiver.
はい。
No, we didn't get a backstory, so...
Not yet. Give it about 5 seconds.
What?
What?
血も出てるけど、とりあえず OK。
What?
ねえ、むーちゃん。あんたってバカなの？
Maybe a little.
バカなの？
と頭でも打っておかしくなったか。
だからそうなのよ。
確かにこれじゃおかしな。
Yep.
今さら運がどうとか、はっきり言って無意味な時間だった。合格なら宇宙で船外活動、不合格なら就職活動。
Yeah.
Wild to say. If I fail, I'll be looking for work on Earth.
Yeah.
On Earth.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Imagine saying that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Wow.
何かの間違いだろ。
わからないことがあったら溝口に聞け。あいつは何でも知ってる。お前らも溝口をもっと見習えよ。な。
Here's the backstory.
We get it post phone call.
He's been number one. Yeah.
Is that why he responded so negatively to other people trying to lead?
And he butt heads specifically with the other person who could have made a great leader in his team
Yeah.
in Makabe. Oh, this little piano bit here, it sends me such emotion. Whoa. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, this is going to be huge. Listen to what he says here. Damn. That's simple. It's obvious. It's obvious.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. That was his weakness in the whole thing. Yeah. Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, someone did. Someone did.
Yeah.
意見を言う奴が現れた。
Oh.
Wow. Like first person ever or just like in a meaningful way? Like
Right.
そうは思わないな。ここはみんなの力を合わせよう。
Damn.
何なんだよ。こんな奴がいたのかよ。
So you know that because you didn't make it, that he must have then.
Sure.
Because you can clearly identify.
Right.
Yep, to throw it back. I totally get it, man.
Yep.
You worked really hard.
Oh,
真
yeah.
壁は合格。
Exactly, yeah, he knows.
Yep.
That's some good self-awareness then.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's
But that's
rough.
cool, actually. He accepts it because he knows, oh,
Right.
Makabe is who they were kind of looking for more so.
Yeah.
申し訳ないけど、一つ頼み
What?
があるんだが。
What do
on!
we need now? I know, Muta, this is aggravating. Oh, so now we're caught up to the present. I see.
Gotcha.
2時間以上も過ぎ
Yeah.
て。
Because he's got the thing on his head now.
Right.
Meanwhile,
Oh
on the
my
moon.
god.
ヒューストン、こちらダミアン。続いて、バリーとフレディも頭をぶつけたよ。
Nice.
だから言ったんだよ。基地の天井低いって。
I feel you.
Wow.
That's
I've done that with the
so
moon,
crazy.
but to be able to do that with the Earth.
Uh-huh. That's
Let me
that's
cover
wild.
7.2 billion people. Wow.
Yep.
ちくは柔らかい素材で頼む。発表しないでくれよ。月面の男たちは。
Oh, but that's sweet. Muta's already looking like an astronaut.
Right.
Yeah.
ちょっと。
じゃれれー。
まだかよ。
She's right here just cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
風のわっしょい。
She's
Oh,
singing
no.
just like,
And singing badly, too.
just feeling herself, just like.
Yeah. Just totally having a great time.
しゃいわっしゃい。あ、ほら、わっしょい、わっしょい、わっしょい、わっしょい。
わっしょい。はい。
Come on.
了解しました。
どうしたの？
It wasn't JAXA.
Yeah.
わかんない。
He's supposed to
ど
go
こ行く
somewhere.
の？
公園。よくわかんないけど、近くまで来たから出て。
Oh! Oh, he wants to tell him in person! Yeah!
行ってくる。
I certainly, I certainly hope he's.
That's exactly what he's
No,
doing!
yeah, no, right, right. But
Shut the fuck up! That's why he's
but
doing
can you
this.
imagine if it's the? I would want to tell you in
Oppo.
person that you failed.
ここに行きたい？
Go.
あら、そう。
No, he doesn't need Oppo anymore.
公園に。
Yeah, no, he does. It's his good luck charm.
合格発表って JAXA の人がわざわざ来るのか。
Oh,
Not usually.
there he is.
Hey.
この人は確か。
Yeah.
面接官の中にいた方ですよね。
Tadashi, I'm so glad. Like,
それ以前に何度も会ってたことは思い出せないのか？
以前に。
what the It's like, Muta racking his brain.
どうしたもじゃくん？そのおでこ。
Call him Afro. I
Yeah.
brought him back.
どうしたもじゃくん？そのおでこ。
Yes! Yes!
Oh!
All the way back
ど
then!
うした？
あなた。
Oh! With all that hair!
私は JAXA のライオンと呼ばれていたほどふっさふさだったけどな。飛行士になれる人っていうのはその資質だけじゃなくて
Takes a little bit of luck, yeah.
私にはその運がありませんでした。
You're one of the lucky ones, man. Yeah! Shut up, Oppo. Don't ruin this.
もじゃくん。
Yeah. You too can be a hero.
もう覚えてんのかあいつら。ああいうのが将来宇宙飛行士になったりすんだよな。君を宇宙飛行士。
How long it took him to, like, realize what he was hearing.
おめでとう。君には運がある。
Yep.
Yeah, bring back this track.
Pink bicycle. There you go. It did it, yeah.
Good job, Oppo.
Oh.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Whoa. You really did take your sweet time with it. Yep. There's the pink bicycle. I really pulled out everything just to give us this all at once. It's okay, man. Yeah. It's like he's dying, moving on to his next life. He's being reincarnated, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is like he's passing into the light, you know?
Uh-huh.
Wow. The directing of that was just phenomenal.
You know, we give the show shit for like, why'd you take this long?
Yeah.
It took this long to, you know, instill this feeling in us, right?
Right.
You
It
know.
was an opportunity cost, you know,
Exactly.
for
Right. We'll
the
still
impact.
give the show shit for that.
Oh, yeah.
But also, god damn it, you really put that to use, you know?
Yes. You took advantage of it. You didn't let it go to waste.
Yep.
Y'all, the emotions that swirled through me just like 2 minutes ago are still absolutely wrecking me right now. The way that they took this as a, hey, come with me to your next life. Like, come
Right,
forward
right.
here. There
Yeah.
was something transcendental happening.
Oh, yeah.
here. I felt like it was at like the end of Lost, and it's like
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Come on,
like,
it's time to
like
go.
something mystical is
It's
happening.
it's time
Yeah.
to move on. It's time to go forward here. And then the press conference being a room bathed in light, and he like
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
wistfully,
yeah.
quietly walks
'Cause-
through.
Because Muta must be having an out-of-body experience
Oh,
right
he's
now. like-
absolutely
like-
yes,
like
just
the-
ascending.
Oh yeah, and I think the decision to have him be told in a park, both outside yonder the sky, but also with a bunch of kids around running around playing and stuff.
Yes,
That was not
that was
arbitrary.
that was not
Like-
arbitrary at all.
Like this is what his entire life has been about, right? You know, ever since he was their size, you know, dreaming about this and everything, and all of the, you know, the dashed hopes along the way of giving up on it and all of that. Like that's
yeah, the feeling of I gave up on my dream, and
And I
that's
still get
why. Well, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And my brother's up there because he didn't give up on it.
nope.
And despite all that, the boy that could just barely dream, despite losing a lot of it so early.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
in a lot of
yeah.
ways, Muta didn't lose it because he became an adult. He was already starting to wane with it as a kid. And the
Yep.
idea that he's been seen all along his journey by this guy, just coincidentally, somebody who just
Right.
happened to be the older version of Muta who didn't get picked, basically,
Right.
and still had all the passion to work at JAXA and
Yep.
commit to basically making other people's dreams a reality.
Right. And I love that Muta didn't even know that.
No.
Right? Like, and I'd completely forgotten that Muta hadn't made that connection because
Right.
we've been so living in this dude's head for a long time of like, oh yeah, I want to see Muta succeed.
Yeah.
That it's really easy to forget that, right, to Muta, he's just one of the dudes that asked questions in the interview. Like,
Yeah, he's just a
that's-
guy.
Yeah. And that's, man, then the whole thing of, hey, don't you recognize me? We've met plenty of times before.
And he's like,
Huh?
wait,
And
I
he
have a
has
good
to-
memory.
Right.
And I'm trying to think
But
back.
he still doesn't get it, and the dude has to call him by what he called him back then.
Yeah,
Like,
and all this happening with the fun coincidences of, no, actually, you are the lucky one. Because this isn't just that it's you, but it's also that it's me who was on the testing thing
Sure.
and the judging group and all that stuff to be able to
yeah.
notice you and advocate for you
Yep,
multiple times to say almost that if it wasn't for my unluckiness,
Sure.
you wouldn't have been lucky.
yeah. Yeah.
So you are someone that is going to be an astronaut because typically you wouldn't have made it past
Right.
a couple of
Just
the
the whole
first
thing of
earlier stages.
just asking the questions of like the old employees when there was the whole thing of like, oh, he assaulted his superior, you know, right? Like at his previous job.
Right.
Like that's probably what might have just ended right there.
Yep.
You know?
Oh yeah,
And that's it.
yeah. And so the beauty in having someone like that knowing the impact that this is going to have, understanding that in a lot of ways,
Yep.
this is the kind of person who, like him, would have gotten passed over. But rather than having any kind of chip on his shoulder about how he's not going to let somebody like that, you know, not get through if he's not going to get through. In the same way that Mizoguchi was basically like, oh, well, if I'm not getting through, at least I'll know that Makabe is going through.
Right.
And that gives me some closure. Of
Yeah.
like, oh, gotcha. If you can, at the very least, resolve that the reason why you're
Right.
not going through is so that somebody who's just got that little bit of extra something there is going to go through, turning that into a positive of, I didn't have luck, but whatever reason, this lucky little bastard, he's gonna make it through, and I'm so excited to see the look on his face when I tell him that, against all odds, all these little coincidences, all the bad luck, if you will, of the date you were born and the circumstances of all these other things were cashed in karmically for you here, whereas the no.
That was
the
all to
whole
balance out your
universe
luck
aligned
here.
because you were destined for space, my dude.
Right.
Like, you're going to the moon.
You are going to have a job that's not on Earth.
Yeah, you are already wearing the Band-Aid on the forehead, about to go into a press conference while they're getting info for the press that's going to show them already having the Band-Aid on, and then knowing that those two across the space now are brothers having the exact same injury on their head, thinking, wait, did y'all plan this?
Yeah.
This is adorable. There's no way.
To say nothing of the fact that like, him commenting on how he saw Muta having the same kind of injury as a kid. Right?
Yeah.
Standing up for his brother. And then, again, in his workplace.
Headbutt
his boss, you know, right? Like, ways in which it's always been there, right?
It's always been there.
You have always been destined for Space Muta, and the
what's going on with that thick head of yours?
Right, like
Mr. Afro.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be very fun to go to space. I personally would definitely enjoy that, right? But the idea of having that something that you've dreamt of since you were a kid, right? And to have someone that you respect come along and not just tell you that you succeeded,
right?
But that I saw you the entire step of the way, right? Like that. That
would bring me to weeping ugly
Fuck,
tears.
man.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so hard to think about all those times that you struggled with something, but that you were seen.
Right.
Because you weren't really. But even though there's nothing like, crazy about it, it's just a normal thing here. You and your passion is something that other people see.
Yep.
They will never communicate it with you necessarily.
Right.
Like, sorry, I used never and necessarily. A lot of the passion and energy and struggle that you put into something is going to be seen, but you will not be communicated necessarily that it was seen.
Right.
It is so important to be seen and to know that you're seen.
Yep.
But oftentimes, those specific bits, moments, or what have you of your life that are so instrumental, they'll never make their way back to you unless you choose to, remember them with meditative intention,
And oftentimes the people that see those things are they're not really going to be the people that you want to be seeing those things, right? Like, your parents will see you struggling and things like that. That's great. But your parents aren't going to be the ones that decide whether or not you become an astronaut or whether or not your book gets published or something, right? Like,
your brother will see you.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
But, like the closest thing that I can think of would be like one of your favorite authors being like, no, I actually read that shitty Wattpad story, and I was like, oh, this is fun. I hope I get to read this person's published book someday or something like that, right? And having it be somebody that you respected as a kid, right? Like, that's...
see, that's the thing. They didn't know him.
No.
They didn't know him.
No.
Tadashi is not somebody...
No, it's
special to them.
Well,
just
in a lot of ways, JAXA employee.
Right, but in a lot of ways, they were special to him.
Right.
And that's what I think is really cool about this, is that it would be the equivalent of if you did something unintentionally as like a kid that inspired somebody who you had never met, never known anything of, and then that person then comes to congratulate you later for succeeding.
Yeah.
They're not even instrumental really in your success. Like, in a lot of ways, he is. Like, Tadashi is.
Oh,
in a lot
absolutely.
of ways.
Yeah.
But Muta still ended up being put into the position and pushed himself into the position and listened to Hibito and did all this stuff here to where he would end up being here.
Right.
So,
oh yeah, this is
not
not
something
to,
where he needs to be
take away from Muta's efforts.
No.
Yeah.
But I was saying he doesn't even really need to express gratitude to Tadashi. Like, he doesn't need to. Tadashi would be wrong, in my opinion, to bring up the...
of course. Absolutely.
I helped you along the way. No.
Yeah.
If anything, it's the celebration of, congratulations, you're one of the lucky ones. He doesn't need to go into why you're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
But just the celebration of, you did it. You're here.
Yep.
The offer is made. Come with me.
Yeah.
That is so surreal. And I think in a lot of ways we get micro versions of this throughout our life, like all the time. But they happen so invisibly, like nonchalantly. They're so casual. And they happen with things that maybe even you're not really aware of how much they matter in the immediate term.
Well, and that's why I would say that's why the struggle is painful, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's something where you just have to do a bunch of hard work, right?
Sure.
Then okay, you just do it, right? Like, and maybe
do it or you don't.
You do it or you don't, right?
Right.
It won't be hard, right? But it's the belief that goes along with it that's what makes it hard. It's the hoping. It's the I don't know if this will be enough. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this will be enough. And it really seems silly to go at this without, like knowing that it's unlikely. But even at the times when I don't want to, even at the times when I do give up on it or whatever, I still keep coming back to it because there's some part of me that isn't willing to give up that hope, right?
Oh, yeah. To
then have that be, like, to get that final catharsis, that positive reinforcement, the congratulations, you did it, that means so much more than any kind of, I know if I do X, Y, Z in said quantities, then I will get the thing, and I saw that I did the quantities of the inputs, so I will get the outputs, Right. Like that's going to be completely different,
Completely different.
Then it'd just be all right, fantastic. I checked that last box.
Yeah.
I managed to stay disciplined.
Yeah.
Right? Like, awesome, and I'll go celebrate,
Now that's important.
That it's very important.
It's important to bring the bottle of wine to the big milestone decision moment.
Right.
It's actually a very reasonable and wise thing to kind of prepare for the hey, we're gonna celebrate if we succeed, and we're gonna commiserate and celebrate in that own way if we don't.
Right.
Either way, you put in the effort, Mizuguchi. You are a great example of somebody who did so much right. And because in a lot of ways you were unlucky in that you ended up getting put into a group with Makime Kenji, he was the perfect foil for you to then learn your lesson.
Right.
But from that perspective, you were lucky enough to then finally have somebody show you the one thing you were missing. The idea that...
To be able to say, you've got everything except one thing.
Wow!
That in and of itself is a gift,
like,
right?
Muta's got 12 things wrong with him.
Oh, yeah. He's got
at least
as many as the hairs on his gigantic head.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Boy's getting carried by Oppo.
Exactly. Oppo knew, hang on,
But the thing that's so cool about this is that when you look back at your life, there's this beautiful thing with regards to time that you then realize that you made choices along that life path that brought you here. But other people also made choices too. And their choices interacted and mixed with your choices.
Yeah.
And created circumstances and stuff where you might not have even ever made a different choice.
Oh, yeah. Like the whole idea of, parents, their ceiling is your floor and all that stuff, and setting you up, right, to be able to, have that life they never had, right? Like,
or just to be able to cover for the areas that could be,
Right, to support you while you're pursuing that passion, so you're not worrying about these other
your
things.
Survival or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. That is the most classic literal, example of it, right? Yeah. But
wow.
Yeah, this was wonderful. I love that There wasn't too much in the episode, but I do like that we did get that. Here's what a rejection looks like. It's from the person that we were hoping wouldn't become an astronaut. While at the same time, them having the very, understandable and healthy approach to it of the wine bottle. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love also that in a lot of ways, there was something being said from like a cultural perspective here, in that Mizoguchi looked probably like the model Japanese citizen.
Yes.
He looked like the equivalent of Mr. Perfect. He
Yep.
looked like probably what Makabe Kenji kind of embodied an aspect of.
Right.
Like Makabe Kenji wasn't perfect. Not in the slightest bit. But he had all the makings of the I've got this. I'm going to do this.
Makabe Kenji is more of the internals representation, whereas this other guy Mizoguchi had it from the externals, right? He had the nice apartment, he had all the accolades and awards, set up in there. But then there were other things that he clearly didn't have, right?
Right. And the idea that his only thing that he lacked is kind of also one of the things that makes the culture of Japan also so great, is how communally minded it is.
Sure.
So the idea that in some ways he got everything and still missed the most important thing.
Oh yeah, to the point where he does his fatal flaw right before getting the phone call.
Right.
His mom calls him and is like, hey, let's celebrate or whatever, and he turns it down.
He blows it off.
Yeah, right. It's no, I'm good. I've got everything handled.
Yeah, I don't want to rely on you here.
Right, exactly.
Or, don't put yourself out.
Right. Right, exactly. And that's the other element where I feel like it's both a celebration of the strengths of Japanese culture, while at the same time that bit of commentary on it, where it's the no. Don't apologize here. Accept the help, right?
Right. Excellence is fucking amazing.
Right.
If you're a person of excellence, more power to you. Excellence is not a negative thing.
Right.
That is phenomenal. You are, by definition, somewhat exceptional because you've made excellence a part of your life.
But except when people want to burden themselves with you.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the kind of thing where...
That's not a thing to apologize for.
Well, right. It's the kind of thing where Muta could be seen by some people as a...
I
don't know, like a loser or something, because of how much he relies on other people.
He's very in my mind, for a high school equivalent, he's very delinquent coded.
Really?
Yeah, not in the most literal sense.
Sure,
right?
I would say a touch. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's the bit of him that does headbutt his superior, right? That's constantly not. He doesn't really fit in regular society.
He kind of questions the status quo a little bit.
Yeah, he's finding a job. Yeah, that's real tough.
He was killing it at his job that he was doing. So there was a point made that he's very smart and intelligent.
Exactly, he can perform and all that stuff. But those interviews, people just don't really like him. He
has what I would call that slight unlikable streak.
Exactly, right. And people just sort of pass over him, right?
right.
And so that's one of the things that makes it so wonderful when here he gets it, right? Because of course Makabe gets to become an astronaut, right? Of course Hibito becomes an astronaut.
Yeah, of course Serika becomes an astronaut.
Right, all
the three of them are completely different types of people that all have almost everything down pat except their one or two things.
We'd start to doubt the process in the world, and all of that stuff of becoming an astronaut if they didn't get in, right? Not that there was a problem with them, right? But that's why then Muta is our perspective character. He's our protagonist, right?
Yep.
Because it doesn't matter what kind of personal faults and stuff that you have. If you work hard, if you acknowledge them, if you accept them, and you keep going, you too can go up into the stars, right?
Yeah, and you might also think maybe Muta doesn't deserve it on paper.
Sure. Yeah.
And a lot of the people at JAXA and NASA definitely probably thought that.
Oh yeah, plenty of the people even in the selection process were commenting on it.
But I loved the point that had this all kind of come on its head with the ways in which every single time people saw things one way, Muta saw it correctly. He saw it accurately. He saw the thing that they were missing.
Right.
And so it feels so thematically just powerful to then have people see within Muta the things that he might have
see with him
been
himself.
incapable of seeing within himself.
Yeah,
and it's just like
that's good.
It's so beautiful to have this episode be basically about how you were seen.
Right.
You were seen, but not just then, like now.
Yeah.
We see you and we like you, we accept you. You now are what it takes to be an astronaut. You have
In fact, you are so seen that your mother snuck along so that she could see you get your acceptance.
Yeah, sure. I think it's so powerful from an emotional perspective to have your main character's flaw be, if you will, that he has such a negative view of himself.
Right.
That he's capable of seeing all the idiosyncrasies and things that are wrong
of other people and other things
within the environment.
Yeah.
To the point that it ends up becoming his own kind of superpower, basically.
Oh yeah.
That isn't even that great when it comes right down to it. It's just kind of nice. But through that process, all these other people were really amazing. Like the idea that Muta got to be on that team, like got to be in that team of people.
Yep.
Is another form of his luck.
Oh, absolutely.
But the ability to then elevate all those other people who he could have really struggled with if he brought some of his other energy into this here.
Yep.
But because he was so focused on like, wait, this is all a test. I have to see what's wrong. I have to
Right.
figure this out. It's a puzzle. I'm in an escape room. What's the key? What's the code?
Yep.
He ends up actually like pushing down his own things that would get him to spiral or question it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just really well portrayed. I'm really excited for the catharsis, obviously, that's coming here.
Also,
but
he doesn't even have to worry about the stage fright because he's already been on TV.
True.
So he doesn't even have to worry about the, oh shit, you took me from the most vulnerable news of my life to...
He's a 2-time celebrity at this point.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like,
about to make it 3. Like,
way to go,
come on.
Yeah.
This is easy.
Right.
You
can do
this. This is great. And the idea that this is also episode 37 in a approximately 100-episode show.
Yeah.
I'm very glad we're finally here.
Yes.
I'm now realizing that we've still got like a year more of, Space Brothers.
Right.
At least to enjoy this process.
So now we need to see, yes, the press conference, but also we got to see Hibito.
Yeah, the
news.
brothers.
We got to see
the brothers reach out and fist bump across, 100,
Whoa, careful! That's a $15,000 camera.
No. Across like time and space.
Right. Yeah.
Cameras and stuff and everything. And I just it's so good. But all right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon and get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.